today's video, I'm going to be sharing how to strategically create content that actually converts your audience into paying customers. Because yes, while we do want our content to be helpful and inspirational so that people actually engage with our brand, we also do need our content to eventually encourage people to convert or become customers, become leads, become clients. Because of all the effort that we're putting into our content marketing, it has to be worth it in some way. But how can we make sure that we're not forgetting about this aspect when we are creating our content? I'm going to share a few tips with you today. First of all, and I know I mention this all the time, but knowing your target audience and what they want is going to be so key in creating the type of content that actually pushes them over that line from just being part of your audience, watching what you're doing, engaging with your content and actually buying something from you or inquiring and being ready to pay you money. When you have a really clear understanding of who your ideal customer actually is, it makes it so much easier to know what types of content to create, what they're going to be interested in, what kinds of messages and copy you can use that's really going to draw them in and compel them to take that next step. You can focus your content around solving their problems that they have and how your offer, whether that's a product or a service, can become the solution to the things that they're feeling challenged by or struggling with. You also want to get clear on what a conversion actually means to you. So I know I mentioned kind of getting customers, getting clients, that kind of thing, but what does that actually look like? So maybe that means actually selling a specific product to someone, getting them to do the whole checkout process and them to have actually bought it. Maybe that means for a client to have got in touch with you and filled out your inquiry form or sent you an email. Or maybe it means that they've booked a discovery call with you via some kind of appointment scheduling software. Or maybe a conversion is that someone has booked an event ticket or signed up for a workshop, or even just joined your email list. Maybe your entire business goal is to build a bigger email list. Or if you are running like a traffic-based blog, maybe you just want to get people to be reading blog posts on your website and that counts as traffic and then you get ad revenue. Whatever it is, we all have different ideas of what a conversion might be in our business. So get clear on that first, because you always want to have that end goal in your head when you are creating any piece of content. What is the purpose of you actually creating this Instagram post or this blog post or this YouTube video? For some pieces of content, yes, this is just going to be to get people to engage with you and connect with you, but that's not the kind of content I'm talking about here. We're talking about specifically conversion content, pieces of content that you're creating that have a deliberate goal of the step that you want people to take next, which is to become a customer, etc. So get clear on that. And then what you want to do is get comfortable with the actual idea of selling. Selling doesn't have to be sleazy. It doesn't have to be icky. It can be done in a way that's right for you and right for your brand and that feels good. What I see too often is people creating content and just forgetting to sell or not wanting to promote an offer at the end of the piece. But what you're doing there is assuming that everybody already knows exactly what you sell. Everybody already knows about your products, your services, your offerings, but they don't. Don't assume that all of your audience knows exactly what you do and how you can help them. You can position your offer as a valuable way that people can get that next step of help or that next thing that they want or desire, because what you're actually doing is helping people find a solution or something that they really want, when a large part of your audience might not actually have a clue that that is available and that is an option and those offerings are out there. So get comfortable with the idea of selling, but don't always focus on selling with your content. As I mentioned before, some of the content you create is going to be more focused around getting engagement and connecting with your audience rather than just selling to them constantly, because that is when it does come across as spammy or sleazy. So especially on social media, places like Instagram, where the focus really is to be on those platforms, engaging with people and building connections and relationships, you don't want every post to be focused on conversions. So don't worry about this having to be something that you add into every single piece of content that you create, but occasionally it is something that's going to be relevant and that you're going to want to do. Creating a good mixture of content that brings you traffic and new audiences, that connects and engages with your existing audiences and actually converts and sells with your audiences is something that I cover a lot of in my new course, The Streamlined Content System. I'll leave a link under this video for more information and to join the waitlist. With conversion focused content, you want to make sure that it is super, super relevant as well. Not only relevant to your ideal customer, your target audience, like we spoke about before, making sure that it's something that really makes them tick and that they're really interested in and that's going to be really appealing for them to click through to get more information or to take that next step with you. You also want to make sure that the content you're creating is highly relevant to what the offer is that you are putting out there. So let's say that you're a website designer and you want to create a piece of content that converts people into sending you an inquiry form, filling out an application form, booking a discovery call, whatever it is. You really want that piece of content to be relevant to website design, or at least relevant to maybe the steps before or after website design and what needs to happen there. So maybe a blog post about how to prepare for a website design or how to get your branding ready to work with a website designer. Those are just random basic examples, but you can see how those are incredibly relevant to the offering of website design. It doesn't really make sense to have a whole piece of content about one thing and then at the end you're asking people to buy a product that isn't really relevant and has nothing to do with it. That is just going to come across a bit weird and it's going to put people off. I kind of mentioned it before, but crafting compelling messages and copy that you can include in, even if it's not written content, I'm kind of thinking mainly about blog posts and social media posts, but definitely video content, you can still create key messages that are really persuasive and compelling and hook people in to want to find out more about your offer and your service. If you can create hooks that stop people scrolling or headlines that make people want to click and then follow it up with really valuable content that maybe contains personal insights, stories, that kind of thing. That's the sort of content that's going to work really well if you want to give people an action step to take afterwards to convert with you. Maybe doing something like including testimonials or case studies of previous clients or previous customers within your content. That's also going to be really compelling, not only as a general piece of content and a story, if you can incorporate it in that way, but also as social proof of, oh, someone else has had that experience or got these results from working with this person or buying this product. That's going to make me want to buy it or hire you even more. And finally, and most importantly, always include a call to action in this conversion type content, or actually in any type of content, but the call to actions and the steps that you want people to do next is going to be slightly different for conversion-led content where you want people to buy a product or sign up for a newsletter or fill in an inquiry form. That's going to be different to content where you're asking people to comment or engage or do other things. But always, always, always give people a next step. You don't want someone to get to the end of a blog post and be like, okay, that's great, and then just leave your website. Likewise with a YouTube video, what do you want people to do at the end once they've finished watching the whole thing? What do you want people to do once they've swiped through on an Instagram carousel post and they've got to the end? Just tell them. And the key thing with conversion content is you want that action to be super, super easy. If you're saying to people, oh, and also here's my product, if you'd like to buy it, then go to the link in my bio, go to this page on my website, go to press this button and go here and go here. That's too many steps for someone who is on the Instagram platform just trying to scroll through and enjoy their browsing time. Instead, maybe you could link up your online shop with Instagram or Facebook shops so that people can just tap the tag and go straight to that page from a post. Likewise, if someone's reading a blog post, why not embed the actual product buy button right there on the page rather than telling people to go to a whole other page first? How can you make those steps super, super easy, or get people to message you so that you can then send them the exact link and things that they need to do rather than them having to figure it out themselves? So I hope you found this helpful. If you like learning about content marketing, I'm sharing loads of tips and strategies and insights over on my email list this month. I'm focusing a lot on content marketing content. So if you're not on my email list already, again, I'll leave a link for that in the description of the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again in another video very soon.